Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Great Teacher Onizuka, episode 21. Alright, we had the little cute episode with Kunio and him being an idiot.
Absolutely.
With Fuyumi.
And then chasing the bus, tripping and falling, face planting. But thankfully they go to the same school.
Yeah, thankfully they go to the same school, so we can just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah.
Unless that's just, that episode, and then it just never comes back again.
That would be unfortunate.
That would be very unfortunate, But yeah, this is GTO. We seem to be shifting pace a little bit because Kanzaki hasn't come back yet, so maybe they'll come back to her eventually, and she'll just be a recurring, intermittent side character.
Who knows?
But yeah. I mean, it's more stuff with Onizuka. So
exactly.
That's all. That's always good. Yeah. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. This is my my love song dream.
We're so proud of that 3D.
Right.
I love it.
Come, easy go. No, da 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 da. Onizuka. Lonely, lonely.
Nailed it.
Lonely, lonely. Lonely, lonely. Da 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 da. Lonely, lonely. Lonely. Nope, not yet, not yet. Love me, kiss me, kiss me.
Then he wakes up.
And he's just like,
oh yeah, that's right. Ugh.
The song goes on. Fuyutsuki.
You always begin conversations this way?
Alright.
Oh.
Ah! I'm called Chihuahua! Oh no!
Aww.
Ah! Wait, he was underneath her desk? Oh! Yeah, he's a little hungover. Where did he come from? Everyone is underneath her desk. What does he have against Miss Fuyutsuki?
Yeah.
I thought it was against Onizuka. Oh my god, his eyes.
Oh, really?
どこかの好きだらけの教師のバイキンが映らんように日々しっかり励んでくださいよ。あれ？みたいな五流大学生のバカ教師がこの私に暴力を振るったらどうなるかわかるかね？おでこに糸くずついていた。髪の毛だ。
Jeez. Put it back.
Yes, and just leave, Fuyutsuki.
Paper cut? Ow. That's annoying.
That seems like something intentional, just a bit. Razor blades don't end up in papers. I think the other girls in her class are.
I see. Yeah.
やっぱ女子生徒から恨まれてるのかな。
言っとくけど女子全員あんたのこと大嫌い。
Jeez.
あんたなんて教師やめちゃえ。
Dang.
Wow.
Wow.
これが初めてじゃないの。前からいる。
Oh, dang.
女の声で死ねって入ってたり。
Jeez.
しょうがねえ奴らだな。
I'm glad she's talking with
女陰
Onizuka
険
about
な
this.
女だな。
You should kick their asses.
ドビュッとへこまして
I can teach you karate.
やれないわ。
嫌になったんならよ、とっととやめた方がいいんじゃねえか。教師をよ、そんなつまんねえことでくよくよしてたら担任なんて務まんねえぜ。嫌いな商売いやいややってっとストレス溜まってやけ食いしてしまいにはデブデブになっちゃう。
Wow, Onizuka.
俺は体重150キロの冬月ちゃんなんて見たくねえな。
みんなで雪だるまを作りました。
Is this family?
写真送るから見てくだ
I
さい。
think so.
Aw.
みん
Sweet.
なが応援しています。木崎ひとみ。もう
So
私
I
は
guess
教
those
師
are
なんだ
like students in a class that she like helped
教師にな
teach.
ったんだ
Yeah.
もの。元気を出して鬼塚先生に負けないように頑張ろう。おはよう。
Whoa.
先生、俺たちじゃねえぜ。女子のやつらが書いたんだ。
クレヨンで書いたらしくてなかなか落ちなくてさ。
Oh, dang.
あいつら授業ボイコットするってよ。冬月先生が担任やってる限り授業出ねえとか言うんだぜ。
ああ、そうしゃべいいな。そのカラオケ行って歌いまくる。俺は何聞いたよ、先生。
Okay.
I love that they showed it that he used the same trick that he showed to.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
絶対自殺に行ったに決まってる。先を突き止めるんだ。俺のせいだ。
とっととやめた方がいいんじゃねえか。
I mean, yeah, you were really callous back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
先生、私もうすぐ練習に行かないと。
レッスン
I have to go to your class soon. You know?
Yeah.
踊りでも。
学生の頃に白馬のペンションでバイトしたことがあるみたいだ。
Cool.
All
そ
right.
このことをその後文通していたんだな。
白馬行くぞ。
Only Onizuka can say that while
Wearing panties on his head.
panties of the girl that he likes on his head.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
jeez.
あれ、先生は？
This is getting another pack.
バカったれ。俺を置いてってどうすんだ。
ひとみちゃん。
Yeah,
元気
why
そう
are
で
you
ほっとした
here?
わ。もう中学生か。あの頃はまだランドセル背負って。
なんだよ。私先生になったあずささんなんかと話したくないの。
ちょっとひとみちゃんどうしたの？
先生なんて大嫌い。
Okay.
ひとみちゃん。
Heard this song and dance before.
Yep.
まだ無事だったか。絶対謝るんじゃねえぞ。いいか。
ああいう状況でよ、突然いなくなりゃやべって思うよな普通。間に合ってよかったけどよ。
In time. Oh my gosh.
恩人ってやつ。
あいつなんか冬月
I think Onizuka's threatening.
あんなにビビってたのにな。
鬼塚先生がやってくれるって。じゃあね。
どうだ。
Gotcha.
にしてもよ、切れるたんびに白馬まで来てたら交通費めちゃめちゃかかるだろ。ここは一体冬月ちゃんの何なの？
ここはね、私が教師になろうかなって思った場所。
This is a really pretty background track.
Yeah, it
学
is.
生の頃、私このペンションで夏休みの間バイトしてたの。
Aww.
さっきの子はひとみちゃんって言って。
Broke into your
別
house.
にどさくさに紛れてパンツ盗んだりしてねえっすよ。
Onizuka! 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 Bro!
心配してくれてありがとう。
But I do need my panty back, you know?
Yeah.
あの頃は本当に楽しかった。たまたま大学の先輩で相良さんっていう人がここの小学校の教師になって赴任してたの。
Gotcha, and that was the other woman in the
ひ
picture.
とみちゃんに誘
Yeah.
われて学校に遊びに行って先輩とひとみちゃんたちを見てる。
Wow. Yeah, that is kind of adorable and just wonderful that one person could be so
Yeah.
well received by all these people.
One
Yeah.
experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Rediscover your passion for it.
先生って教師って何なんだろうね。とかして気持ちを分かろうとして
Aww.
私どうしたらいいのか分からなくなっちゃった。
さあ、俺そんなに深く考えたことねえからな。
We know.
いや
いいね。悩みなさそうで。
悩みならあるあるたくさんよ。給料日前に50円しか残ってねえとか。そうじゃなくて。
私ひとみちゃんに会えば気が晴れると思ってた。
よし、俺が話つけてやる。
I am a non-traditional teacher.
鬼塚
Exactly.
お嬢さんはどこっすか。おい、
Oh
上司
boy.
と話したくない。
Oh, here we go. Here's Onizuka.
22歳。
22 years old, a bachelor? No, okay. The greatest teacher in Japan.
なんで教師が嫌いなのか。わけを
Tell me why.
私たち相良先生に捨てられたのよ。
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes sense.
同じ学校の先生と
Oh.
そんなバカな。
そうよ。
教師が人を好きになってはいけないと言われるんですか？
Yeah.
の行いを正当化するつもりですか。
事実をありのままに話すだけです。
Okay, that's her choice, though.
お蝶先生、この人を今すぐクビにしてください。
明日の学校もなくなっちゃうわ。コッパみじんよ。
Oh, good timing.
Yeah.
映画の撮影で爆破されるのよ。
Oh,
先生するわ。
it'll be for us,
くだらねえな。
ghost stories, you know.
そんなことくれていじけてんじゃねえよ。教師だって人間なんだ。相手の気持ちも考えねえで一方的に被害者面してんじゃねえよ。
何が相手の気持ちよ。じゃあ奥さんや子供や私たちの気持ちはどうなんのよ。ただの自分勝手よ。だから教師なんて嫌いなの。
Okay. Interesting episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dealing with some really heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm. The fact that they were talking about an affair and all that made me wonder if maybe
It was her dad?
it was her dad. You know.
Yeah. Because she's not here. You know,
Right.
abandoned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's literally just that she did something that put her needs and wants over the students.
Sure.
So she's like, why should I consider her feelings when it was her selfishness that ruined this whole
Right.
thing? So you understand where she's coming from because she's hurt, you know. But,
Although, yeah.
you know,
I'm curious how they're going to tie this back to Fuyutsuki's students because
yeah.
like I get that it could make Fuyutsuki have a change of heart, you know, bolster her or whatever, you know. But that still doesn't solve the issue with her students. Which
No,
is something
it
that
really
does
doesn't.
need to be
No,
resolved.
no. That's why I'm not so sure about this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's an okay episode, but it really was struggling in like specific parts with just kind of suddenly kind of forcing things down this direction, you know? Which I'm okay if they want to talk about the idea of, you know, the bullying coming from the girl students because the guy students are attracted to her.
Right, but it would
That's
have been
totally-
much better to focus on that.
Focus on
for the
that
episode. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So there were some parts that I really liked about this episode.
Yes.
And there were some other parts that I was not really so sure about this episode.
Yeah, it felt like it felt very rough and kind of rushed because the whole thing with the students interclass and the bullying and all that stuff.
That's really good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And I felt like they went comical with some of the areas where they shouldn't have. Like the whole part where the male students are interclass, like they communicate the message, right? And them trying to clean the board, you know, but it's crayon and all that stuff. That was great, right? But then it's like they just start asking her like,
that wasn't meant to be comical though. The things that was part to spiral her further into
right.
her.
No, I know, but it's the kinds of things that would have otherwise been used for, could have been used for, like like Great Teacher Onizuka kind of comedy stuff where people say things that like they really shouldn't be saying, but because it's
I
here,
didn't take it like that.
Not that it was intended for comedy, but because of how it was just kind of like, I don't know. It felt very jarring for me because like, okay, really the guy students are asking that.
Yeah, I totally could see them asking that. That's the point, is that the boys, they don't care. They don't care about her feelings. They're asking questions that are invasive and rude and private, especially at a time where she's already emotionally compromised.
Yes.
They're basically being high school boys that don't have like any manners or care or any understanding of really what a woman is, really.
Right. Well, yeah, just how people work.
How people work. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's evident here is that she's got, you know, some problems in her class as well beyond just the students, but
because like this seems like the kind of thing where if they had split it up, like if they had done one or the other, either one could have been great. Like let's say she gets a letter and she's like, oh yeah, I want to go visit, you know, and all that stuff because it'll be great, blah blah blah.
You're talking about separating the bed and breakfast stuff.
The bed and breakfast stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay,
So if Miss Fuyutsuki wanted to go back and visit, because it's like, oh yeah, it's a place from her past. You know, it's characterization and development, and backstory, and all that stuff for her.
Good
That's
stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, a Fuyutsuki centric episode. Cool.
Right.
Then they could have focused on that and had this feel justified.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it seems like they're going to end up spending more time than they need to solve a problem that is a tangential problem onto the real problem that they will then still have to solve once they go back.
Right.
So
if this is if this is the beginning of a more than 2 episode arc, they could still solve it. They could still kind of rectify it. But it would need a lot more time because you can't just rush through this. Like this is something that is this is something that is not easily solvable. Onizuka can't even come in and just kind of I like how he jokes like, hey, you should kick their asses. She's like, I can't do things like the way you do. And I was like, this is good. She can't do it. She's going to have to find another way.
Exactly.
Onizuka can help, but I like that when she did ask him questions, even when they were looking up at the stars together, which I thought was a very sweet scene, he's like, I don't know. Like, he's like, I don't have any answers. I was like, thank you. That's good because he's not the kind of person who's a genie in a bottle and you can just bring Onizuka into the situation. Suddenly everything is solved.
Right.
It's that when it's a situation that he's directly involved in, he has to solve it.
Yeah.
Yes, he applies his own touch there. But when it's something that he's not directly involved in, he doesn't know. He's not involved in everything there, so he doesn't know all the variables. How could he help her, really, other than just being there for her?
Right, and I feel like one of the other things that makes this episode a bit weaker as a whole is because we don't have an attachment to Fuyutsuki's class.
Yep.
So, like, we don't know the names of any of the characters in her class. I don't think they really have names, you know.
Yep.
So, and granted, yes, it's a different class, and they're not going to introduce all 40 students or anything for this, but if they had made it so that one of them had a name, there was an identifiable girl among the girls in her class that was the sort of the ringleader that was instigating all this. Maybe she liked a boy in particular, and that boy was just obsessed with Fuyutsuki, right?
Sure.
Then that would be a way to basically personalize it so that it's more than just there's a bunch of, you know, all the girls in her class are mean. You know, all, 20 of them if they had equal numbers of boys and girls.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's a bit... That would basically make me care more about this conflict more than just Fuyutsuki, and since they took Fuyutsuki and then removed her from the situation and took her to a different conflict, then
it feels a little sloppy. It feels like something where they could do 3 episodes of this and end up solving all the problems.
Sure, the setup and then the problem over here, then she goes back and then the next problem there, and then it's resolved.
And she applies some of the things that she learned with Hitomi and how she can speak to the girl students specifically in such a way that would work.
Right.
Then I could see some real potential there,
and maybe also to develop more of a stronger why, basically, of why she wants to be a teacher. Because of course it could have just started as hey, I had a good experience, and then it turned into something else.
Right.
But since we don't really know why Fuyutsuki wants to be a teacher and she's being put through the ringer, that would be a good thing to get brought up.
Yes. either way, I think at the end of this we will get more characterization for Fuyutsuki. It's just that the plot surrounding this seems a little bit jumbled. Although it's really unfortunate though, because I feel like this topic of students bullying the teacher, based around this kind of subject, is I would say a very good opportunity for story, but I don't know. I think it's because this show is called Great Teacher Onizuka. Here's part of the problem. Okay. Is they're not willing to invest, I think, in the characters surrounding the subplots of the other characters, the non-Onizuka characters. Yeah. It's basically got to be a story of how does Onizuka help the people with their problems? But that's not how this conflict was framed. It seems to be that Fuyutsuki needs to solve the problem, which means Onizuka doesn't solve the problem, which means Fuyutsuki does. So that means Fuyutsuki can only ask for help from Onizuka. But the thing with Onizuka is that he's so aggressively over the top that he throws himself into these situations where he will help them. Right. And that takes away a lot of the agency of Fuyutsuki.
Right, and they kind of established that he can't really help here, which is great.
Which I hope is what it ends up being. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I doubt, I press X to doubt, I doubt that Onizuka is going to do nothing. I doubt also that he's going to not take away her agency to solve this problem herself in some way. Now, I hope that he basically does kind of a better version of what he was trying to do on the roof. And I understand what he was trying to do there. He was trying to say, hey, where's your fighting spirit? Exactly. Like, don't let this bother you. You're bigger than that. Now, he didn't say that. He framed it in a lot worse of a way. Like, he could have verbalized it in a much better way. But if he gets that fighting spirit within her, like, riled up, I could see Fuyutsuki coming back to the school with just this,
right, exactly.
I'm ready for a fight. Let's go.
Because Fuyutsuki's the kind of person who does learn, who the people's favorite actresses are, actors and stuff, and their favorite shows and things like that. And so
that's sweet.
She really does bring a lot of energy to the table. She's just, discouraged right now, which is completely understandable.
I mean, people are telling her to kill herself, and that she has like some kind of, disease or whatever.
And how, like, okay, if it was just one or two students, right, then that's then that's a problem where she can use her personal touch, right? But this is 20 students, so like,
it's a faction. It's an entire organized group that's basically deciding to terrorize her there. And this is something that I've never really completely understood because I don't understand kind of these kind of school systems and such, is that the students have so much power over the teachers in terms of the way things are structured that the students aren't jeopardizing anything by actually there's no consequences for them in the school's rule system for this kind of behavior.
Because like for instance, in the case of being in the bathroom, you could say that she couldn't see them, but she can hear them. Like, she would know what they sound like, especially when she spends so much time getting to know the students, that she could just say, like, yeah, it was this person and this person and this person. Right. And those are the three I heard, or something like that.
And Onizuka wasn't able to do this kind of thing a lot of the time because they would get leverage over him. Right, They would end up finding ways to blackmail him into not coming after them.
Right, and especially because with Onizuka, the ways that he was wanting to go about it were ways that the school would not allow. Right? For various reasons, Yeah. But with Fuyutsuki, the way that she would probably try and address it, or at least I would think she would try and address it at least once or twice before she ended up leaving, I would hope, are things that the school would very much be on board for.
Right. And then comes to the thing that I actively disliked in this episode. This is something that is...
Which part?
Well, it's kind of the blatant, disgusting kind of sexism coming from the vice principal.
Oh, yeah.
Which was something... Okay, here's the thing. The vice principal, the reason why I love his character is because he's a comedy character. Right. He's a joke. We're not meant to take him seriously.
Exactly.
Whenever he combats against Onizuka, it's funny because he's essentially the guy that has his character sacrificed for the sake of making funny conflicts with Onizuka. But once he's taken seriously and he starts actually, like... throwing his weight around as the vice principal and stuff, we lose all interest in him because he's generally an idiot.
Right.
And the thing is when his idiocy comes into, you're obviously being a loose teacher with the students and stuff.
Like,
none of the teachers come to her aid.
Nope.
Not even like Onizuka, really.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. And especially when the school has been established to have a super awesome actual principal, right?
Well, this guy's she's like the the actual principal,
but because this guy's just the vice principal, right?
Yeah.
And you would think if there were issues like this, because 3-4, it's like, okay, they've had issues with 3-4 plenty, right?
Right.
But especially when she like volunteers in the cafeteria all the time, like why didn't Fuyutsuki go and talk to her? Like that would have been great.
Yep. It's these little inconsistencies in the way that the episode kind of framed the plot so that Fuyutsuki would essentially do things that would drive the plot in a specific direction.
It's an example of the show showing its age.
Yes, exactly.
Because they have the episodic things that they need to do, and it needs to go a certain way.
Yep.
But
Yep. And that's unfortunate.
Right.
That's unfortunate because we're coming off of the tail end of one of the most intense little mini arcs of GTO so far with the whole Kanzaki stuff.
Yeah.
And that stuff was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this just doesn't seem...
it's like, come on, GTO, you can do better. Like,
you can.
We've seen you
do
do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, not much more to say. I hope that they take the time necessary to develop Fuyutsuki's character properly.
Yes.
And then also to showcase her solving the original problem in such a way that feels earned, warranted, and or... and just is shown to be Fuyutsuki solving it.
Because Fuyutsuki-centric story is something that I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
You know, like getting episodes with her to develop her character and all that stuff. It's like, yes, awesome. So when this is what we get, it's like, oh, okay, I was kind of hoping for more.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, if you want to watch the next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, where you can chat with us about stories or just whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.